Ahsoka Tano looked on helplessly as Letta Terman's life dwindled to the floor. Without knowing about the involvement of fellow Jedi Padawan Barriss Offee, Ahsoka was arrested by Commander Fox and taken to a cell, but the traps laid by Barriss had only just begun. After escaping from her cell, Ahsoka was seen collaborating with the Night Sister Sarge Ventress and defeating Commander Wolf's shock troopers. She is knocked out by the masked Barriss and found in possession of nanodroids. Admiral Tarkin uses this as a reason to expel Ahsoka from the Jedi Order, much to the anger of Ahsoka's master, Anakin Skywalker, and her fate is decided in a military trial, away from the control of the Jedi. While Senator Amidala presents the defense for Ahsoka, the evidence against her was overwhelming, which Tarkin used to his advantage. Palpatine was about to present the verdict, which was likely to be a death penalty, until Anakin arrived with the captured Barriss Offee, who confessed to her crimes, believing that the Jedi and the Republic had strayed from their path. But what if Ahsoka was executed? What if Anakin had never arrested Barriss? As you're going to discover, Ahsoka's execution will alter the destiny of the galaxy. As the hooded Anakin prowled the underworld of Coruscant, he spotted his intended target in a Sarge Ventress and leapt down from the small bridge. The Jedi Knight was about to ignite his blade when they both heard the voice of Palpatine spreading across the planet. The Supreme Chancellor announced that Ahsoka Tano was to be sentenced to death by a legion of clone troopers for her involvement in the bombing of the Jedi Temple. Anakin roared in anger, shaking the buildings around him, and Ventress had to move out of the way of a falling pipe. Anakin took a passing speeder from an innocent civilian and rose to the surface, his destination being the Republic's center for military operations. As he was about to enter the base, Anakin was blocked by the entire Coruscant Guard and a couple of Jedi Masters. Anakin leapt over all of them and tried to cut a hole in the roof, until he heard the muffled cries of Ahsoka in the courtyard. Anakin howled again before being stunned by several clone troopers. Later, Anakin awoke to his surprise in the Jedi Temple halls of healing, finding Obi-Wan and Padme looking over him. His eyes were still burning a hateful yellow, and he blasted out of the room, much to the annoyance of Obi-Wan. The Jedi Knight charged to the Jedi Council Tower, with Obi-Wan and Padme chasing after him, and confronted the council members with his lightsaber ignited, demanding to know the location of Tarkin. Mace Windu calmly pointed to a medium-sized cruiser hovering outside, and Anakin quickly announced he was leaving the Jedi Order, which was of little surprise to the arriving Obi-Wan. The Jedi Master was one of the few Jedi who had been adamant that Ahsoka had not been responsible, and beckoned Plo Koon to follow him through the corridors of the temple. The Kel Dor Jedi Master had been saddened and disturbed by recent events, and he could not blame Anakin for leaving the Order. The Jedi had lost their way in the middle of the political war, and the two Jedi Masters follow Anakin in departing the temple. The mood in the now emptier council chamber is somber, and Yoda admits they had made a grave error in Ahsoka's trial. Mace Windu and Saesee Tiin disagree, arguing that there was little else the council could have done in light of the evidence and the control of the Senate, and the other Jedi decide that something had to be done about the Chancellor. Elsewhere on Coruscant, Senator Padme Amidala was walking frantically about her apartment when she received a message from one of her guards that two visitors had arrived. Allowing their entry, former Jedi Masters Obi-Wan Kenobi and Plo Koon rushed to meet Padme and revealed to her that Anakin was going after Tarkin. Padme is concerned that Anakin could suffer the same fate as Ahsoka, but Tarkin deserved it. The search party led by Commander Fox contacted the Jedi Council and found Tarkin had been brutally killed by Anakin, but there was no trace of the former Jedi, and those in Padme's apartment felt that justice had been done, but it was time to retrieve Anakin before he turned to the dark side. Across the Galactic City, Palpatine had also just received the news of the death of Tarkin. The Supreme Chancellor had known that Padawan Tano was likely innocent, but she was becoming an irritating obstacle in his bid to make Anakin Skywalker his future apprentice. The Sith Lord had expected Anakin to react in such a manner, and walking to his nearby holoprojector, he instructed the nearby Count Dooku to capture him and await his arrival. Dooku promptly left his hangar, where he had conducted a meeting with the Separatist Alliance, and prepared his lightsaber, walking into the lower levels of Coruscant. The Sith apprentice suddenly heard screams of pain and the destruction of buildings, turning to meet the blade of Anakin Skywalker. The Jedi Knight was using all of his hatred, and he surprised Dooku with his surge of power, causing the Sith's lightsaber to fall loosely at his side. Before Anakin could kill Dooku, the shuttle of Palpatine landed nearby, and he had to make a choice. That is it for part 1 of What If Ahsoka Was Executed. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, subscribe to this channel, and my other channel What If Films for more what ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.